right, let's get these glutes. So first we're going to start off with a band, and you can choose kind of a medium to lighter weight band for these first movements. We're going to get on all fours with that band just above the knees, and we're going to start with a hydrant. So find your neutral back position, core very tight, toes are tucked under, and then we're going to bring that leg up and out at a 45-degree angle. And really think about using only the glutes, not letting your back flex at all during this movement. We're going to get 8 on each side, so you can change sides. Last one here. And then we're going to go back to the other side, extend that leg out straight, and do a little kick, straight leg extension with that glute. So focus on just squeezing between the glute and the hamstring each time to bring that leg up. Let's change legs, 8 on each side again. Should feel those glutes start to warm up. Last one. All right, so next you're going to flip over onto your back, and we're going to draw your heels in towards the hips. Place the knees wide, feet apart, shoulder blades retracted, and then we're going to lift into a glute bridge. Make sure you're placing tension into that band. If you don't have a band, it's not completely necessary to do this entire workout. You would just do it without the band. But if you've got one, use it. Again, lift, big squeeze, and lower. We're going to get 15 of these today. Keep getting those hips as high as you can. Focus on the squeeze in the glutes, bringing your hips up. Just one more here. And then we're going to lift off, and we're going to do single leg bridge. Same idea. Try to keep the knees apart as we do these. One leg only. Now, if you can't manage this one, go ahead and go back to the 2-leg bridge, but if you can, get as many as you can on this side. We're going to shoot for 8 at the most, and then 8 on the other leg. Again, focus on that squeeze between the glute and hamstring. If you find it hard to feel it in your glute, you could always come up onto the toes and lift the heel on the leg that's down. Great job. All right, now we're going to lift it back into your bridge, and we're going to do pulses in and out into that band. Big squeeze on the way out. Just keeping constant movement. Try to keep your foot as flat as you can. Great job. 15 of those. Go ahead and rest. And we're going to start that over again, just a little bit different this time. So 2 to 3 sets of everything today. So we're going to go to all fours again. This is just a different angle. And we're going to start with those hydrants, core nice and tight, engaged, and 45-degree angle hydrant kicks. Really open up that knee. Think about a book hinging open. And we're going to get 8 with this movement. Then we're going to kick that leg back and do that straight leg extension for 8 as well on the same side. Perfect. Go ahead and bring that knee in towards the elbow, and then we're going to kick that leg out straight. So this would look like a squat if you were standing up on one side, one-legged squat. Press away, draw that elbow into the knee. These are definitely harder than they look. Big squeeze. Great job. Go ahead and adjust that band if you need to be just below the knee. And we're going back to fire hydrants now on the right side. 8 of these. And go ahead and kick that leg out back straight. And straight leg extension, just drawing that whole back of the leg up towards the ceiling. Squeeze that glute for 8. and then we're going knee to elbow kickouts for 8. Try to keep that leg lifted out to the side during these. Wonderful. Once you've gotten 8, give it a quick stretch in child's pose, and we're going to flip back over onto your back. And I'm going to change to a heavier band for this section. If you were good with the first one, you can stay where you were at. Otherwise, go ahead and grab a heavier band. I'm going to grab the fabric one. This is extra heavy. So we're going to go again back into a glute bridge to start off. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift and squeeze, keep the core nice and tight. And again, we're shooting for about 15 of these. You should be around 12. Great work. Next, I'm going to show you a slightly elevated version of the single leg bridge. Again, this is just a little more challenging. So I put a yoga block underneath. If you've got a book, anything you could put underneath that working leg. And we're going to lift and lower, big squeeze for 8 on each side. This gives you a little bit more of a stretch in the glute, which makes that movement just a little tougher. But this is a good option if you have tight hip flexors and you can't feel bridges. It's a great way to get them to activate a little bit better. And going right into those in and outs with the knees, we've got 15 pulses in and out, in and out. Try to keep those feet stable, really push down into the floor. Once you've got your 15, you can rest and come on up. We're going to come to standing next. And go ahead and find a medium band if you have one. But whatever you've got will do. We're going to start with side to side monster walks. So we're slightly hinged in the hip and the knees. We're going to go 5 one direction, 5 back. We're doing 3 laps like that. So as long as we get about 15 per leg, that's what we're looking for. Side to side. Really keep the core as tight as you can so the upper body should not sway side to side. Think like you are a statue from your hip bones up. Really drive the knees out so we're fighting that band and the knees caving. All right, on this last one, we're going to go right into either body weight squats or squat jumps. So here's your squat option, but if you can, we're going right into jumps. We've got 15 total of whichever one you choose. Keep fighting that band. And 15. Great work. We're starting it over. Same thing from the top, starting with monster walk side to side. Stay low. Keep those glutes engaged. You want to make sure that your feet stay pointed straight forward during these and that you stay in just that little bend of a half squat. The lower you get, the better. Got one more lap. You'll definitely start to feel those glutes by now. And we're going right into our 15 jump squats or body weight squats. Or if you need a chair behind you, you can always use a chair to do a sit to stand with that band. And just train those glutes to work. Last few. 2, 1. Great job. All right. We got one round left. Starting from the top, monster walk side to side. These will go by quick, but they are a killer. So if you need to take a break, just pause it and let your heart rate come down. But we're trying to burn those calories at the same time while we're doing these strength movements for the glutes. Remember to keep the core nice and tight to avoid too much wobbling side to side through the upper body. That's why I kind of squeeze my hands together, because it helps keep the core tight. Last lap here, down and back, 5 each way. I'm feeling it. And 15 jumps or squats. These are your last jumps today. Stay strong. We got a few more. 2, 1. Great work. Yes. Made it through the first set of exercises. Next, we're going to lateral lunges. And again, you'll have a medium-ish to lighter band on this one. I'm going to first show you a lateral lunge option so that when we get to it, you remember that you have this option instead of stepping in if you have any bad knees. So first, we're going to do duck walks. So we're going to keep the feet wide, walk 5 steps forward, 5 steps back, keeping those knees wide, and stay as low in that squat position as you can. Again, you're a statue up top, so as little movement in the upper body as you can get. 5, back and forward 3 times. Same deal, we want 15 per leg. And we're going right into our lateral lunge, so you're going to stand sideways, step out, sit down into a squat on that side, and then drive back in. So remember your alternative of not stepping in, but just going alternating sides into your lunge. If you need to, rewind it back to the beginning of this set to see that again. We've got 8 per side on these. Make sure that the toes stay pointed forward again throughout the whole lunge. Really stretch the inner thigh on the stationary leg. That band just adds a little extra resistance to these, so you really don't need to use weight, but in subsequent sets you can hold the dumbbell, and I'll show you that in a minute. So there's your 8. Great job. We're going to start it back over, going right into duck walks. I'm going to add just a little bit of weight. These are tiny little 3-pounders. So I'm going to build up the weight throughout these sets. I'm going to start with no weight and then add a little bit and then add a little bit more for the third set. So we've got 3 sets of this one. 5 steps forward, 5 steps going backwards. Make sure you've got a clear path behind you. That's 15 steps total before we go to the lateral lunge. Make sure you stay low in that squat. Take your time. Great job. Let's go right into these lateral lunges. Again, I'm going to hold the weight up top at the chest. Sink in. Pretend you're sitting in a chair on that one side as you stretch out the other side. We've got 8 per leg. Keep fighting that band as you step out. Great job, and we will switch legs. These will also get your heart rate skyrocketing. So if you need to, you can always pause, grab a drink of water, a towel off, then get right back to it. Again, here's that option. I'm going to show you real quick in case you forgot or in case you're not feeling these step-in lunges. You've got that alternating option. So we're going again to the duck walk. Added a little bit of weight. I got 10 pounds in the hands now. Stay in that squat. You want at least about a 45-degree angle in this one. Most important is keeping the weight distributed evenly through your foot, slightly more in the heel to protect the knees. And most important, keep the knees wide apart. Last couple. Perfect. Let's go into the lateral lunge. I'm going to use the same amount of weight, which is 2 5-pounds. And I'll show you 2 different ways to hold it. So you can hold it low here. If you have a weak core, this will help strengthen the core. But if you find that you're falling forward too much, then I would bring them up top to just strengthen that mid back and core. Great. Go ahead and change sides. And we've got 8 on this side left. Last set of lateral lunges for the day. Keep it up, sink in, push off. We have 2 more supersets for the glutes. Great work. So into our next set of exercises. We've got 2 moves on this one, 3 sets, 2 moves on another for 3 sets, and then you're finished. All right, so we're going to go right into a single leg deadlift. So you're going to hold your dumbbell or your water bottle or whatever you have on one side, and that same side is going to kick up and back into the air, stretching the stationary glute and squeezing it forward. So we're hinging at the hip. We've got 8 on one side, 8 on the other side. Notice the dumbbell's just coming below the knee. This is going to make sure that we're focused more on the glute and less in the hamstrings. It'll still get a little bit of both, but I prefer to keep a bent knee on the back leg when doing it, specifically targeting the glutes, and keeping that dumbbell close to the inner thigh as we lower it down. So again, use a door or a piece of furniture if you need for balance. I would rather you focus on the movement itself more than the balance factor. So we've got 8 on this side. Great job. And we're going to move into a split squat next. So you can either keep one dumbbell. I have a pair of 5 pounds I'm going to use for the next one. We're going to put one foot forward in a long lunge position. The back heel stays lifted so as to easily drop the knee down and push off. Again, if you want, just start with no weight on this and get used to the movement. It's tougher than it looks. Again, slight lean forward to keep the core engaged, shoulders back. Drop and lift, 8 on each side. We're focused more in the front leg, using that glute to press through the heel. Keep your whole foot down, but push through the heel to lift. Great work. All right. Going into our second set. Back to the straight leg deadlift. Again, you can opt for no weight if you want to focus more on the movement itself. If you're using a weight, it is in the same side as the leg that is lifting up into the air. So I've got left arm, left leg going up. The right leg is the one that's doing the work. 8 each side. And switch legs. We've got 8 on the other side. Take your time with these. Feel that stretch. Give it a quick squeeze right between the glute and the hamstring. And last couple, 7, 8. Wonderful. Moving to the split squat again. I'll use the same weight in this set. 2 5 pounds, long lunge position, heel lifted on the back side. 8 on one side, 8 on the other. Make sure the core stays nice and tight. Again, if you need a wall for balance, just hold one weight on the front leg side. This is the only room in the house that I allow shoes to be worn because I need shoes on or it's too slippery, especially with leg movements. Great job. We're going to move into our third set of these. So go ahead and grab that single dumbbell if you're using it and go right into this hinge single leg RDLs. 8 on one side. Should be feeling those legs and glutes. And switch sides, 8 more. This is your last set of these. Hopefully you've got some good music pumping. Last couple. Great job. One more set on that split squat. Grab your 2 dumbbells, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Make sure that you have some distance between the feet too. So my feet are about shoulder distance apart, maybe even slightly wider than that, depending on your hip width. We don't want to feel like you're walking the tightrope. We don't want your feet in line at all. 8 on one side, switch legs, last 8. And 7, 8. Great work. Next, we're going to a sumo squat. I'm going to show you a body weight version. We're going to pulse and lift. 1, 2, 3 pulses at the bottom and lift. So now, if you've got a weight, you can hold it going sideways, horizontally. Same thing, 3 pulses and lift. Or you can hold it going up and down, whichever is more comfortable. 3 pulses at the bottom, big squeeze. We want to get at least 8 repetitions. 1, 2, 3 lift, that counts as 1 rep. Should really be feeling those glutes. This is the only set that we're pulsing. Very first set, so use a little bit lighter weight. Great work. Next, we are moving to a straight leg sumo deadlift. So my feet are very wide. You can't tell from this angle, but the feet are very wide. Your back stays nice and flat. Stretch and squeeze. Again, hinging the hips back. Lift and squeeze. Very similar to our single leg deadlift we did. But now we're on 2 legs and we're stable, so we can maybe use a little bit more weight. Focus on the hip thrust. And we're getting 15 of these total. 15 deadlifts. Great work. I'm going to show you another option. You can just rest for now, but if you only had a lighter weight and you wanted more resistance and you happen to have one of these loop bands or something you could tie up, I'm going to show you an option that can help with the glute activation. So I would tie that to something at least hip height or lower. And then you're going to step into that band and get it right around the hip bones. From there, you're going to do that same movement with the deadlift, but this is going to add a little bit of tension in the glutes at the very top of the movement. So for people that have struggles with getting the glutes to work in a deadlift, this is a great option to help your body, give you something to push into. stretches and squeezes. So there's another fun little option if you want to play around with that. So we're going back into our second set. We're taking out the pulse in our squats. So lift, drop, lift. That looks great. Keeping the chest lifted. Make sure we're bending the knees to drop low, so we do not want the hamstrings to stretch on this. We're sinking down and lifting. We're going to get 15 each on this set. So no pulse, which means we're doing more reps. 15 reps on this squat. Last couple. Great job. Right into our sumo deadlift. Same deal as last time, 15. Keeping the core engaged, back nice and flat, head neutral. I find one focal spot to look at, usually in the corner of the room near the baseboards. And try to keep your gaze on that the whole time. That will help keep your spine neutral. And go to where you just feel a stretch. Not everybody is going to get as low. It's to where your body needs that mobility. Great work. 15. Going into our third and final set. Drop and lift. We're busting these out quick. Getting through it. We're almost to the finish line here, guys. Stay with me. We've got 15 squats. Last few. 14 and 15. Good work. Let's go right into this sumo deadlift. You're going to keep the same stance as we just had. Just grab that dumbbell, hold it horizontally if you like, and squeeze up. You could hold 2 smaller dumbbells as well. That's always an option, or a kettlebell. Anything you've got. Case of water, whatever you've got that's got some weight to it. I had the kids use a paint bucket the other day to do some deadlifts. Last few reps here. Finish strong. Great work. You guys made it. Great job on our booty workout today. I will see you soon. Drop a comment on Facebook. Let me know what you thought.